So workflow number one, we talk about shifting from transfer of information to student discovery. And Kat, I have to tell you, when I was little, like I wanted to be a teacher, and I would line up all my dolls and all my stuffed animals and basically put on a performance. And, obviously they didn't respond because they're just like inanimate stuffed objects. But like, I felt like, yes, this is what teachers do. We stand up and we put on a show, and I'll explain everything. And they just kind of sat with their like glass, dumb eyes staring at me. And, it worked. But then when I became a teacher, I kind of replicated that doll model where I'm like, let me tell you everything I know. And, that might work okay for like your mythical average learner who's fairly compliant. It doesn't mean they're going to love it, but it's like, okay, I can sit here like your cute little stuffed animals and, follow along. And what I realized is that as my classroom became more inclusive and more diverse, it didn't work. So I spent all of this time basically putting on these performances. We used to call it sage on the stage. And I got very little yield from student learning. And we had this idea of like having students be more centered on the learning, but then there's questions about how on earth do you do that?
Right. And the chapter is not to say that teachers will never stand up and explain things. I mean, I guess my preference would be like, if you're going to say it the same way to everybody, like make a video, let kids pace through it. Because I know when I stood up in front of the class and talked, I was heckled. It was like, slow down, Miss Tucker, you're going too fast. Or, oh my gosh, I need to catch up on my notes. And so there will be moments where you might make an instructional video, or you might run small group instruction as part of a station rotation. But we also don't give students opportunities to wrestle with information and discover for themselves and work with their peers to unpack complex text and navigate video content and figure out what are we learning from this information. And so in this chapter, we provide concrete strategies like utilizing choice boards, reciprocal teaching, jigsaws, making bite-sized instruction to try to think about where are those moments when we can allow students to engage in that work of making meaning, engaging with new information, wrestling with ideas, because they're capable. And we don't want to steal all the aha moments at the front of the room.
And also, we're not stealing from everyone, right? Because we're just, again, we're only going to take small groups, just maybe the dolls or maybe the stuffed bears, because like what they need based on data might be different. But we tried to be really concrete to provide strategies that you could use right away to begin to shift that workflow.